the crew. We can have shirts made right here in the U.S. within 2 weeks. That's why we're putting the design up today. I designed it with the crew before the show. We'll have the final design by the end of the show. We're going to put out a T-shirt that's similar to the Pac Sun one that's black with an upside-down American flag, and it's basically going to say, America is in distress, save the Republic, and then we're going to have the U.S. code under it, and on the back explaining when and why you do that. United States Flag Code, 8A. The flag should never be displayed with the Union down except as a signal of dire distress in instances of extreme danger to life or property. Our country's going down. It's being dismantled. We're going under UN globalist control. The president acts as a dictator. Now is the time to fly the flag upside down. In fact, can we flip that graphic in there and fly it upside down right now behind me? I mean, this is the time. Mayday, mayday, mayday. Wake up. Get out of your trance. We can use the incendiary nature of the flag upside down to educate the public on why we're doing it. Because what the flag symbolizes is being destroyed. Our veterans are being put on don't treat list. Our basic freedoms are under attack. The Congress is handing over all its authority to the president to sign us on to the TPP. They're coming after all of our basic freedoms. Now is the time. And I've had patriots for 20 years calling in saying, I fly my flag upside down, and my neighbors didn't like it until I explained it to them. And when they come over and say, Bob, why are you flying it upside down? I don't like it. Say, hey, I forgive you for being ignorant. Here's the code. In the country's in dire straits, you're supposed to fly it. That's federal law. If the country is in dire straits, you're to fly the flag upside down. And, I mean, we need to get people's attention. We need to get people saying, what's that mean? Now, I'd imagine Pac Sun did mean it as trendy. I'm not a big Pac Sun guy, but I've bought shirts there a few times just because I, like summertime shirts. And they fit me. But I guess I did look into it. They kind of were leftward leaning, and I do think they kind of meant it as down with America. But it does just because they're ignorant doesn't mean anything. The country is in a super crisis right now. So I think if you put Save America above the flag upside down, they'll say, what's that mean? You write Born to Kill on your helmet, then you have a peace sign. Oh, something to do with the duality of men. No, this is not the duality of men. It's the proper signal. Well, he started coming on the show about 5 years ago. Harry Dent, one of the top analysts previously at Bain Capital, and I thought some of his predictions, though interesting, probably wouldn't happen. He predicted deflation, not inflation, and he predicted basically when it would happen, and he's been pretty much spot on so far. So he'll be joining us in the third hour, and we'll open phones up the last 20, 30 minutes to ask your questions of Mr. Dent today, and we'll tie it into massive talk of open war with China, mainstream headlines about, we'll be lucky if we don't have war with China or Russia by this summer, and pray it isn't nuclear. I mean, I covered all that yesterday. And this is more than just saber rattling. It's a very serious time. Meanwhile, it's being reported that secret meeting in London to end cash, central banks aim to institute governmental approval for purchase of all sales. And that integrates in with the fact that we had 2 weeks ago 6 banks pay $5.8 billion, 5 guilty of market rigging. They're the very same big mega banks, JP Morgan and others, that are pushing to end cash as we know it, or to charge you to even have cash, or to charge you then to even have deposits. Meanwhile, these very corporations paid millions of dollars, the London Guardian is reporting today, to ram through the TPP in the U.S. Senate. But that's not corruption. That's not bribery. It's not bribery to have Hillary Clinton's foundation getting hundreds of millions of dollars in the last decade, much of it that was supposed to go to charities and things, going to her for private jets and hotels and mansions. But what's even worse is most of it's foreign donors from third world dictators. And they mixed it all in with campaign funds. Totally illegal. Dinesh D'Souza goes to jail for getting 5 of his friends to give to a Senate campaign. I think it was legal, but he pled guilty. He was facing 20 years in jail. He's still in jail, 9 months in prison. No criminal record, speechwriter, worked for Ronald Reagan. Has the second biggest documentary film in world history, and he's in jail right now. But here's the headline out of the State Department's own admissions. International Business Times, Clinton Foundation donors got weapons deals from Hillary Clinton's State Department. We reported on this yesterday, but it's in mainstream news today. That's right. Dictators in third world countries would give her money when she was at the State Department, and then she would go, the State Department recommend giving them weapons. Nothing illegal there. Move along. But don't worry, the Justice Department that brought you Fast and Furious and the persecution of Christians and with the IRS and so much more and the Tea Party, they are now going after 40 of the main leaders of the International Association that deals with soccer. They've already arrested some of them, claiming really mild stuff. But it's a big distraction. FIFA officials arrested on corruption charges. So this is the U.S., the criminals that have hijacked it, basically acting like global government right now to show the world how clean they are and how they're fighting corruption when they are the biggest crooks out there, in my view. Now, until about 40 after, and then I'm going to shift gears into Fukushima news and some geoengineering news and some other economic news, election news, Rand Paul news, more on the soccer situation. And we have Mr. Dent joining us, as I mentioned. I wanted to get Lee Queen on. Owner and CEO, founder of Head Down Products. Was founded by David Hunsucker and Lee Queen in a small shop in Powder Springs, Georgia. Their goal was to develop the most reliable and accurate AR-15 in the market. This vision was created from a passion for firearms design, hunting, and the Second Amendment, hdfirearms.com. Now, their site, even though it's got a lot of servers, has been down since I started plugging it, but it should be back up later. We'll also try to give you a phone number. But really what you want to do is ask your local gun dealer, local gun shop, about Head Down products that already have great reviews. Just say, hey, go look at the online third-party reviews of these firearms, the Provectus, the Triton, others. They got 308, 556, you name it. And then look at how affordable they are compared to other firearms that are 2 to 3 times more for something similar. You have to go to the very top end to get something like this. And this is, again, half or less of that. That's why it's such a unicorn. I mean, it's like the joke of a super beautiful woman that's not high maintenance. It's amazing. And yes, they're a sponsor, but we've had a lot of firearm sponsors come to us, and I said, no. Then for a couple months, Weldon's like, check out this group. They're patriots. They're great guys. They're in Georgia. And I'm like, yeah, really? And then, yeah, they supply a lot of big top manufacturers, but they're not private labeling now for others. They're putting out their own. And then taking out the middleman cost. And I went and looked at the reviews. I spent like 3-4 hours overall a month ago, over a week, and just read scores of reviews. Just type in Head Down reviews. You'll get the big third-party sites out shooting them thousands of rounds, going, man, the hype is real about these guns. They're lightweight. I shot 2,000 rounds through it, no problems. Beat it up, did all this stuff to it. It shoots as good as a gun that costs $2,000, $3,000, and it costs $1,000. I mean, that's what's so amazing about the Head Down products, hdfirearms.com. But then they're Patreon-owned. They're sponsoring the show to promote the Second Amendment. Most gun manufacturers, there's some good ones out there that I've approached that are a lot more expensive, so I'm glad to have this one, such a better deal. And they're like, oh, we don't want to be political. We like your show, but we're not going to be political. That's what Larry Pratt's talked about, is the cowardice. Well, the folks that own this company are also on the board of a hardcore Second Amendment group. So it's a win-win-win. You get a high-quality firearm at an extremely low price. You support the broadcast. You support folks that are also involved fighting for the Second Amendment. It's what I call a 360 win. Not a win-win-win-win-win, a win-win-win-win-win. I mean, we're talking so many wins, makes my head spin. 360 wins. And yes, they wanted to do it. They've got one that's got Infowars.com on it, Molon Labe, with an Alex Jones signature on it. It's classy. It's small and nice. and I'm sure it'll have collector value to it, especially if something ever happens to me. But it's not much more to end up getting it with that. In the ad I cut, I didn't even promote that because, quite frankly, that's not the reason to get it, because you can get a version that's got, Molon Labe, looks really cool on it, our design with the helmet, and then Alex Jones under his side. Though I am very honored to be on what I see as the top of the line. I mean, it's the top 3% of assault rifles out there. And I mean, in fact, I can't wait to walk around on our family ranch and shoot wild hogs with this because, even if you got a lighter AR-15, it gets exhausting, or the 308's really heavy. I've got a Reaper. Their 308 is a lot lighter, and I intend to get one. So I'm not knocking Reapers. It's great. I got one. I spent $3,000 on it. They got something similar for $1,500. So, I mean, there you go. And it's lighter. So I'm ranting. Lee, thank you so much for coming on with us today. I'm really excited, and I want folks to call their local dealers and tell them, get the HD Firearms line in today. Thank you so much for your support of the Second Amendment and the First Amendment.
Thank you, Alex, for having me on the show today. That's very proud to have you as our spokesperson. It's fantastic.
Well, tell us about your company, because you've been around for a while, but not selling direct to the public. I know Special Ops loves your stuff. Joe Biggs started salivating after he was shooting it. He's a combat vet. Everybody that I know that's a gun nut, that knows more about guns than I do, just say these are really amazing guns.
Head Down started was kind of mine and David's, vision to. It really was a hobby, to be honest with you. I got really frustrated with buying firearms and basically having to re-outfit them to do what they should have done to begin with. So we started out with the idea of, hey, let's just do something for us, maybe some of our friends and fellow shooters, and really started just building it from the ground up. Started with billet parts versus forged parts, which is the majority of the AR-15 market is forged upper and lower receivers, and the tolerances tend to be a little bit loose on that. So we decided to go billet, that way we can control it. Started producing more and more rifles for people, and then it turned into really more of a nice entity. And we were approached by several companies, and we private labeled for years, making tens of thousands of guns for these people. And we finally got to the point where we're like, you know what, we're tired of cutting corners. They're private labeling, it's their name, but you know what, let's just do it ourselves. Let's just really push it out there, and let's make it the best it can possibly be. And that's really what we've done.
Well, you have. I mean, when I saw the great reviews, I said, okay, let me shoot it, and then I'll probably work with these guys. And then I started reading more reviews. Then I went out and shot it. I got the rifles in my hands. I mean, they're so lightweight, then they shoot so good. How did you do that?
We took a lot of time on the accessories that we put, like foreign rails and things like that, to really examine and pay attention to what operators needed. I mean, some of our best advisors were people that were active combat or still active military, and everybody will tell you, as you said earlier in the show, when you have to carry a firearm around, the heavier it is, the more miserable it can become. So we basically wanted to make it to where it was really, really light, but extremely durable. So we based it really off of the design of the upper and lower receiver, integrated trigger guards to give rigidity to the gun. The forearm rails, we made them to where they were very functional, that could utilize basically anything you could ever want to put on the gun, but be light enough where it didn't just make you miserable all day long. I mean, I'm a big guy, I shoot a lot, but to be honest with you, man, I don't like carrying a heavy gun either. So we kind of basically made, Head Down's guns are based off what David and I look at and go, you know what, I think, every guy out there or every female out there would be comfortable carrying this gun, and now we have the backing of people that do this for a living and say your gun is steadfast. And that's what's really important to us. We put a lot of emphasis on feedback. We want you to break our gun. Break it. Send it back to us. It costs you nothing. We'll fix it for free and send it back to you. Show us a weak point. Well, we love that kind of thing. We've never backed away from it.
Well, take Barrett. It was basically designed in a garage in Tennessee, and I love the American success story from a garage to now your big factory that we went and visited. We'll show some footage of that. And your crew. You don't discriminate against folks that aren't veterans, but I like the fact that most of your folks are veterans, armorers, special ops people. And then Joe was talking to people he knows in special ops and others, and they go, oh, yeah, we're already using a lot of those guns. We love them. this is the type of rifle that should be available system-wide. And Joe was talking about being in combat in Afghanistan and Iraq. He was a staff sergeant, so he could have